I am your astrologer, Wonder Girl, taking you to new heights. This is your forecast for the new moon in Virgo happening on August 30th, 2019 at 6:36 a.m. Eastern Time or 3:36 a.m. Pacific Time. Now, what this new moon in Virgo is all about, I think, is really about fixing our life, fixing anything in our lives that have not been functioning, that has not been working either externally in our life or in our mindset, so that we can finally set ourselves free, liberate ourselves from all these things that have not been working for us so that we can create things that will work for us and get our life moving forward at a faster pace, finally doing the things that are more meaningful to us. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, please stay tuned for the rest of this video. Now, before I get started though, I do just want to mention two announcements. If you like this video and want to learn more about the month of what is it, September, about this new moon in Virgo and what this whole lunar phase is about, then please check out my monthly forecast that I do on my website. The link is going to be down below in the description box, where you can learn more about this month, the major alignments, and what is going on, how we can fix our lives for the better, and really how we can work with other people too. That's going to be a big thing, especially at the end of this month as well. The second thing I want to mention too is if you like this video and not just want the monthly horoscope for September 2019, but also want to get inspiration from me every single day, and not just every single day, but want to get inspiration from me as well every week on each of the new moon phases, or each of the different moon phases. Also, please check some links out down below. I've got a membership that you can sign up for to receive that information regularly as well. I'm also considering too, in the next few weeks as well, adding, I know I've been getting a lot of requests from you all, horoscopes by sun sign. So I'm preparing, not quite yet, but I'm preparing very soon to add those as well to my membership site, again down below, so stay tuned. Now, without further delay, let's talk about what's going on this month. Now, how I always like to start my horoscopes, especially on the new moons and the full moons, is to always place it on the chart so that you can learn astrology with me and see how I come up with these things. So first, I'm going to place it right here. This is where the new moon in Virgo is. You can see the moon and the sun conjunct in the sign of Virgo at 6 degrees here. What do new moons indicate? New moons indicate new beginnings, fresh starts, new energy in some way, shape, or form. What are we getting a new beginning in a fresh start? Well, what does Virgo rule? Virgo has to do with your job. So if I wanted to get real practical, what could happen is that a lot of you all could be starting new jobs in some way, shape, or form at this new moon, or new sets of daily routines. If it's not a new job, like an official job that you go to work at every day, then again, Virgo could just have to do with like a new, I think I did say daily routine, daily existence, where you just do things differently. Instead of waking up in the morning and immediately brushing your teeth and then making your coffee and then eating breakfast, whatever you do, you could decide, hey, I want to shift things and fix things in that way. Okay, could be a lot of that. Virgo also has a lot to do with your mindset and with the way you think about your life. So it can also be a new way of thinking, especially because I do believe that so much in our lives has changed, or that we're trying to change in the past few months. We could be getting new ways of thinking that help us to make sense of our life based on a more true understanding of what's happening in reality, so that we can move forward with more clarity. So those are some things that I think could be going on. I really do. I feel like we're just trying to fix, especially because Virgo is the sign of the healer, of the doctor. I think we're trying to heal and fix a lot of things in our life that are not functioning in quite the way that we want them to function, so that they can function in a better way. All right, that's what's going on there. We could be spending the days before this new moon in Virgo, leading up to it, a little bit frustrated. That's because at the time this new moon in Virgo is happening, we do have Venus and Mars conjunct. Mars is the planet of action. It's the warrior planet, also the planet of war and aggression. So whenever you see Mars make a conjunction to a planet, especially something as sensitive as Venus, and when you get the sun, it can bring a lot of anger, a lot of action, or a lot of frustration. That's because that we could have realized in the days leading up to this new moon in Virgo, especially after the full moon in Aquarius 2 weeks ago, we could have realized something in my life isn't working. I'm trying to create something in my life, especially with relationships. I think relationships were a huge theme from the past few months, so that I can change my life to be something that's more meaningful. And there's something that's not working. People aren't working with me. Relationships aren't working with me. Maybe even my own mindset's holding me back. Maybe even there's some money problems. And we get to this new moon in Virgo and we're like, I gotta fix it. I gotta figure out how to fix these problems with money, with relationships, with my schedule, with my job, with my daily routines, so that I can make them better. And not only make them better, but make them better from a more real, true, honest understanding of what is actually occurring and what I actually have at my disposal and what I actually do not. And the days before this full moon, this new moon, in Virgo could have been a little frustrating with Mars conjunct the Sun and Venus. I'm upset that my life is not fixed. I'm upset that my life is not functioning. And I'm upset that some people that I wanted to help are not here to help me anymore and any longer, especially with Venus and Virgo. Its position of fall, I believe, a place it doesn't like to be in. So we could be hurt and upset. And as a result of us being hurt and upset and angry, we could be channeling this anger and frustration into passion. Not only can Mars bring anger and frustration, but it can bring passion, especially when you get Mars conjunct Venus. Mars and Venus, the masculine and the feminine principle. You need Mars and Venus in synastry to create sexual attraction, passion for one another. So we could be channeling this frustration and this anger into passion to say, I'm upset. My life is not what I want it to be. That people, places, and things aren't working, aren't helping me. I'm going to have to do it myself to fix it. How can I do it? And we could be the days before this new moon rearranging tons of things, rearranging our money, rearranging our relationships, trying to work things out in our mind as fast as we can, moving things here and there. And then all of a sudden, because of this frustration, in us rearranging things in the days leading up to this new moon in Virgo, at around the third quarter moon in Gemini before this, all of a sudden we get to this new moon in Virgo, the Sun, Mars, and Venus trine Uranus, and we get an unexpected breakthrough, and we get an unexpected or a sudden sense of clarity. Because we have taken matters at the full moon in Aquarius into our own hands to wipe our hands of any relationship conflicts for the time being, so that we could fix our lives on our own without their help in whatever way we need to get our life moving. Because we did that, even if it was frustrating. I can't depend on you, I have to depend on me. I can't concern myself with this issue, I have to fix it myself. Because we did that, even if we were frustrating, having to rearrange money, relationships, things we didn't want to do, all of a sudden, new moon in Virgo, trine to Uranus, it works. I didn't want to do this way. I wanted to have your help. I didn't want to have this routine, but I did it myself. And now all of a sudden, I have more clarity of what I need to do and of what needs to come next. And I'm feeling better. I'm feeling more free. I'm feeling more liberated. And because I took matters into my own hands to fix these situations, not only am I feeling more free and liberated, but now I'm starting to feel more stable and secure. And like I'm finally beginning to build my life from a more honest and true and real place with a better understanding of what's going on. Okay, so I do believe this new moon in Virgo, especially if you've been frustrated in the days before this rearranging stuff, can bring lots of positive insights unexpectedly to you that can make you feel better, or can bring sudden or unexpected events that then give you the insight that you need in order to move forward, especially with Mercury at this new moon in Virgo, had just moved into Virgo a few days prior and at the very first degrees, and Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So Venus doesn't like Virgo, still here, but Mercury loves Virgo. So I feel like there's something that we start to get at this new moon where we say, my life was not what I wanted it to be. I wanted other things, people, and places to help. They did not help. I can no longer mess around with these jokers anymore. I'm sad, I'm hurt, but I gotta do it myself, whatever it takes. As a result of us doing the work, suddenly we realize, as us doing what we could with what we had, without other people's help, we get an unexpected insight and a big boost in order to move forward in a way that feels better, more effective, more stable, and more secure, with a more real understanding of it. And now with Mercury and Virgo, we have more mental clarity and more understanding of what's actually happening. And do I want to say we're feeling better? There is a part of me, I feel like we're feeling like more productive, more efficient, and more successful, and communication is starting to improve because now we have a more real understanding of what's going on. And not only is communication improving with other people, because now that we're stopped being hung up on all these other things, we're moving forward. Not only is communication better, but our mentally We're understanding more. Okay, this is why this couldn't happen. This is why this couldn't happen the way that it used to happen. And this is why it needs to happen this way. And we start to kind of begin to put the pieces of the puzzle together that has been missing so that we can start moving faster, especially with Jupiter now direct and with Saturn stationing to go direct later this month. There's a part of me that feels like this new moon in Virgo is helping us to get what's stuck in our lives unstuck, to get all these things that we've wanted to do since April, especially when Saturn and Pluto came the closest to being exact that they've come yet since 35 years ago. I think there's been a lot of things in April that we wanted to change the structure of our lives, Saturn and Pluto, so it could be something that's more meaningful to us, that resonates more truly with our heart and soul at this time of our life. We may have been doing things the past 10 or 35 years, especially the Saturn-Pluto cycle happens 35 years. We may have been doing things the past 35 years of our life that were good at one point in time, that maybe we realized maybe they weren't good. Some of us are like, I don't know, the past 35 years haven't been good, but maybe we were doing things the past 35 years that were good at one time, but that now all of a sudden we realize aren't good and aren't meant for us anymore and aren't what we want. And that's what we tried to change in April. How can I get over all of these things from the past 35 years that I don't want anymore, that aren't meant for me, so I can create situations more meaningful? And I think it's been slow. I think we've been trying to make this change and transition a lot longer than April, but I think there's been like some delays in the process. Like I just can't move. I can't break these old things. That's been hard in between April and now. And I feel like all of a sudden we get to now, this new moon in Virgo, and all these things about that we've wanted to change about our life that have been slow and coming and hard and frustrating finally start to move and finally start to get going. But they don't move and get going because something all of a sudden happens to us from the outside to set us free to move forward. All these things in our life start to get moving because we made a choice to do it ourselves with wherever we are, with what little stuff we have at our disposal. And it's that thing that's going to bring the unexpected events and insights that are going to push us forward, okay? And maybe what's happened is that the past few months of our lives, we've been trying to change our life to be something better in all the wrong ways. We've been looking at all the wrong people, all the wrong places, all the wrong things. Maybe we've been looking too much outside of ourselves to fix things. And this Virgo season, I think, is telling us, no. The way to change your life and to transform it so that it becomes something that you want is to not rely on other people to do for you what you can do for yourself. It's for you to do the things that you need, and to realize that you are more powerful than you think, and that you are stronger than you think, and you are more effective than you think, and that you can do everything that you need. Do I still think there may be some things that we do need? I know I said everything that you need. Do I still think that we need help from people? Do I still think that we're low on resources? We're low on time? I still do. Venus is in Virgo. So even though we're being very, very effective and efficient at doing things ourselves that we need to get our lives going, to get over this old stuff that's been hanging around in our life that we don't want, and to fix imbalances of power in relationships with the Venus and Virgo, yeah, I think we're being really effective. But I think there's still some more things that we don't have. Like Venus and Virgo to me indicates rations being low. So I still think we want people. I still think we want money that we don't have. I still think we want things to come together that aren't working for us. But I think we're realizing I can do a lot with the little that I have. I can do more than I thought I could with what I have. I may not have everything that I need. To clarify what I said earlier, I may not have everything that I need, but with what I do have, I'm really fucking good. I'm really fucking good with what I do have and with what I can do. And I am a badass. I'm a badass. Try me, because I'm putting in the work to fix my life and I'm moving forward. Things that I want that I don't have, I'll get those things later. I'll get those things later when the timing is better. But right now I'm going to do me and I'm going to move forward. Okay, and I really, really like what's going on, especially with this Virgo stuff, being in such positive alignment to the nodal axis and to the Saturn-Pluto stuff. And it's the Saturn-Pluto stuff that's causing the problems. So with Virgo being in a trine to Saturn, Pluto in the South Node, and a sextile, I love sextiles, to the North Node in Cancer, this Virgo season is literally helping us get over these old structures from the past few years 35 years to turn our life around to be something much more meaningful to us in a way that feels better, easier, faster, more stable, and more secure. We may not have everything that we need. We may not have the people in the way that we want, the money in the way that we want, the resources, but we are doing it and it is working and things are starting to go thanks to us. Thanks to us and what we are able to do, and because of our determination and our resourcefulness and our fortitude, okay? And there's unexpected help and insights that are coming to help us. Maybe that's one thing that I should say too about these unexpected help and insights, just because this is Uranus and because Venus is in Virgo. A lot of the unexpected help and insights that we could be getting at this new moon in Virgo to help us get our life unstuck finally and to make some changes in our life for the better that we can feel more meaningful for. Some of these unexpected insights and solutions may not be our usual insights and solutions, especially with Uranus. They could be strange insights, especially if we're strapped on time, money, and resources. If you don't have the people in your life that you need and that you once thought you could rely on and that you once thought that would help, you gotta be scrappy. You gotta be scrappy and you gotta be resourceful. And I think that's what's going on here with the Uranus. It's saying, hey, I don't have the help from the usual things and the usual suspects. I gotta do things differently and I gotta be resourceful and I gotta be scrappy, and we're coming up with that. Especially with Venus and Virgo. Venus in Virgo is not good for relationships. So we may not, excuse me, have help from all these big, powerful people that we want. So when Venus is in Virgo, we're getting help not only in creative and unusual ways, but from unusual sources. Instead of us getting help from the CEO of the company to help us move forward, from our boss, we're getting help with Venus and Virgo also from other people who are down and out, or who are also in low positions or on our same level that can work with us. And like, do I want to say democratic? In a tad bit more democratic way in order to move forward, especially with one of the inside degrees for 6th degree Virgo around the degree this new moon is happening, also talking about containing within yourself a vast creative force. I feel like what goes on at this new moon in Virgo is after things have been hard all this year and frustrating and slow, and after we've been so hurt and heartbroken and scared by the people in our lives and by the situations in our lives and by the past, there's some kind of creative solution and creative internal power of will that arises from deep within our soul to say, no matter like what, which is an interesting thing to speak of Virgo as like having this passion from deep within your soul, but Mars is in Virgo conjunct Venus. There's this like deep creative power and force from deep within us. Maybe it's the Mars Venus that, you know, Mars Venus has to do with sexual passion, chemistry. We find this deep like sexual creative force here that helps us say, no, I have to do this. These problems in my life that have been hard, I have to penetrate them and fix them and move past them. That gives us the desire, the will, the fortitude, and the passion in order to do it, that I like. Also with the 6 degrees Virgo, the inside degrees, it talks about awareness, us getting a more diverse, multifaceted awareness of the complexities of life and of all these moving parts that are going on in our life and what's coming into our life and what's going out and how they all play together. And because we're getting a more complex, multifaceted awareness of our life, it's helping us to see things better, see things differently, and to fuel our creativity to make things happen and to fix things in our life in better ways. Also, other things about this inside degree, a lot about experimentation and discovery. I like it. I think the experimentation part was actually a few weeks or so before this, experimenting. You know, how can I fix my life? What can I do? Rearranging things. To me, the new moon in Virgo is more about discovery. It's not rearranging things to get breakthroughs. This new moon in Virgo is the breakthrough. It is the discovery of our creative force that can fix problems with passion and with clarity and with swiftness in order to move forward. And based on a more realistic expectation, free from illusions. Okay. I like it, man. I do like this inside degree for 6th degree Virgo. It also says one who can reach to the vast vast futures, vast ideas, big ideals, but also get to the details. So there's a part of us that's starting to realize here at this new moon in Virgo, what's been wrong in our lives, what's been holding us back, so that we can finally get to the details, get to the reality of the situation, free from illusions, free from fears, especially since we put our feelings behind us at the full moon in Aquarius to fix what's going on. And to get to the details in order to do it, to fix our lives so that we can start to incorporate and figure out more of what's been missing so that we can be more at peace and more at ease with what's happening, okay? So that's what's going on there. We could be, again, before this new moon in Virgo, with the Venus-Mars, frustrated, anxious. One of the inside degrees is on red alert 25 hours a day, but something about this inside degree, something about this new moon, I just feel like even if we're frustrated, even if we're anxious, it's going to bring the clarity and the breakthrough to fuel us with the passion and drive to fix our life from a much better place. No longer are we going to be trying to change our life from I don't want to say from a bad place. Did I say this earlier? I feel like the past few months since April, we've been trying to fix our life in ways that aren't the way we need to fix our life. And there's something about this Virgo season that is going to help us say all the solutions to your problems you thought were solutions are actually not the solutions. And this is the real solution. Or maybe what we were trying to do with in April to change our life is that we were trying to jump 5 steps ahead of ourselves instead of starting where we need to start. And so there's almost a part of this new moon in Virgo that says, in April, you either were not ready to change your life for the better in the right ways, or you were thinking too far ahead, and now you have to come back to basics, come back to where you started, come back from a different perspective that's more humble, with more of a knowledge of reality. And now that you have that, now you're going to move forward. And now that you have the experience of trying all these things that didn't work and of trying to jump too far ahead too soon, now you're going to be more effective, and now you're going to go, and now things are going to work, and now you're going to start from a better place to create better situations for yourself that are more solid, more stable, more secure. It just is. If you all have been feeling like the past few months of your life, and possibly even years, 9 or 10 years since the nodes were in the opposite signs, and 35 years since Saturn and Pluto came exact, if you feel like that's been hard, I haven't been able to change my life, I haven't been able to fix my life, it's been out of step, it's been out of tune, all this stuff in Virgo at this new moon in this month is going to help you finally figure out why your life has not been going, why you have not been able to change your life, and why you have not been able to fix it. And it's going to help you do it. And not only is it going to help you do it, fix it, get your life moving in the direction you need it to move in, but it's going to help you do it finally from a real place that has more potential of working than any of this other stuff you've been doing or have been trying. I still think it's going to take more time for us to change our life in the way that we want to change it so that it can be better, especially because Saturn and Pluto have yet to come exact and won't be exact until January of next year. I still think there's more left to do to change our lives, to make it better, to be something we really want. But this month is a big month where we finally start to go there and go more to the future and less to the past. Less past, more future. Not everything's together, but we're going, and a lot of things are starting to come together, and this time in better, healthier ways that are actually happening in reality. Okay. Now, other things going on that I didn't talk about is Venus. Because at the same time this is happening, sure, Venus is conjunct Mars, the sun, that kind of thing. But we also do have Venus coming into a trine with Saturn and a square with Jupiter. And eventually it's going to get to a sextile to the North Node and an opposition with Neptune. So as we are getting a new mindset about our life so that we can fix old things and a new set of daily routines and a new plan and a new strategy so that we can overcome all these things that have been hard, that haven't been moving forward, and get them moving, except this time from a more real, better place that we're being empowered to do on our own, without the help of others. As we're starting to do that, we're starting to feel, again with Venus trine Saturn, more stable and more secure. We're starting to feel better with Venus about relationships and money. We're not feeling good about relationships and money with Venus and Virgo. There's still stuff we don't need, and there's still stuff that's missing, but we're starting to feel better because we have more of an understanding of what we do have and what we don't have, and because we're going back to basics to start building things up in a more healthy way from the bottom. So we're starting to feel better, get more understanding about how we need to work with relationships and money and in what way that's more realistic. As a result of that, we're starting to get new perspectives on relationships with Venus in a square to Jupiter and with money. And eventually Mars, and we're eventually going to start to do things in new and different ways, but we're starting to get new perspectives on relationships and money as well from a more real, authentic place because of all the people who did or did not help us before. We're starting to get more understanding, clarity about relationships, money, who's with us, who's not, new understandings that are helping us move forward in the future in a more stable way that it is that we need. That's just helping us to feel better. And I think there's a part of us too with the opposition in Neptune that is just not over the course of the next month going to do things more effectively and efficiently to get our lives moving, but is also going to have this spiritual understanding or going to be trying to get the spiritual understanding in order to move our lives forward. Yeah. So I think maybe that's what I want to say there. With the quincunx this new moon is making to Chiron, we're cooling it on some of the passion. We're cooling it on some of this impulse. But I think by us cooling it on the passion and the impulse, we're finding a new sense of passion and a new sense of drive in a much different way, coming again from deep within the well. We thought everything in our life was dry. I thought everything in my life was dry. I never thought this would work. We're finding like some kind of well in a desert. Maybe it's not the well that we thought. Maybe it's not the water source that we thought, but I feel like we're finding some kind of well in a desert that we didn't know we had in a very different way that's sustaining us through this dry period that we may have been experiencing in our lives for the past 9 or 10 years to help us bring more life back to it. And this is just the beginning. If we can control our impulses and do the work of us turning things around in better ways from more realistic places. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of things I just feel like a lot of things are going to start from here. Do I want to say everything starts from here? I feel like I might have said that like a long time ago in another one of my videos, but there's a lot that's going to start from this point in time because you're finally building things right and you're finally building things in healthy ways. With a more of an understanding of what is actually going on in your situation. And you're going to start to build things that are going to work and that are truly going to resonate with you and help you to turn your life around, even if it's going to take you more time to get everything together, especially with relationships. I think relationships are going to need a bit more time to work everything out. Okay, now your card is over here. I'm gonna pull this one and let me just go me. Now your card for this is the King of Swords. This to me is one about like clarity and is one about making swift decisions and swift moves, and I love this because Virgo is what, a Mercury ruled sign, and we have what at this new moon, Mercury in Virgo, where it loves to be in exaltation. I also maybe should have focused on the fact that Mercury is also conjunct this new moon. So there could be a lot going on in our mind at this time to process and to parse out everything in our lives that has gone wrong in the past and where our lives need to go. And I feel like we're getting this clarity and we're getting this understanding because to me, swords have to do with air signs and Mercury, with Mercury. So there's a part of me that's like, crystal clarity, more of a knowledge and more of an awareness of what we have at our disposal and of how we can use it. And we're starting to feel more in control of our lives, more in control of our desires, more in control of all these things that have been crazy and have been haywire, especially because the last full moon that we had was in Aquarius. And so I feel like there's something that's gone on in between then and now where we have learned, and just for the time being, to put our emotions behind us so that we can get some things that need to be done. Our emotions are going to have their say. They're going to come back. But I think what's going on in the past 2 weeks leading up to this new moon in Virgo is we've said, I got to put my emotions behind me, my feelings about all these people, places, and things that are not working for me because it's frustrating me. I got to put my emotions behind. I got to get more mental clarity on the situation. I got to focus on the details to fix my life in a very practical way. And as a result of that, we're moving fast, feeling more in control of our life, making some swift decisions and getting the things done that need to be done. Love that card. At the bottom of the deck, we got the King of Pentacles. So this is interesting. This could indicate in some ways not feeling like our which is interesting. Like we've got the Mercury to me in the doing well in the King of Swords, and then we've got the Earth sign, the Pentacles, the Virgo, not doing well. So there's a part of me that says it's not just about having all these good insights at the new moon in Virgo. Like, it's not just about crystal mental clarity, about your strategy and about your plan and about what you need to do and about how you need to do it. You also need to figure out how to take these ideas, especially as we get to the first quarter moon in Sagittarius, and to bring them down into earth and to bring them down into reality and to make them happen. It's not just the mental control that you need, it's the control over your environment and over your circumstances. And control really isn't even the right word, especially because Virgo is a mutable sign. It's not like I need to control everything so it doesn't get out of hand. You just need to be able to work more with your immediate environment and to take these things in your mind and to make them kind of happen in ways that are just, I don't know, that are just more practical. And that can actually be seen in reality. And it's not forcing things. I have to force my mindset to fit into what actually is here, but it's more about getting the clarity and then rearranging things to figure out what needs to happen and how, in more of a way that happens more easily. And I feel like that's going to occur, especially because the Sun and Mars are changing phase. And then in the next week or so after this, I feel like there is. Once you get the knowledge about what needs to happen and the mental clarity, then focus in the week or so after this new moon on how you can take this idea and put it into reality. But it's not forcing your ideas into reality. It's working with what you have in order to make it manifest. So that is your forecast for the new moon in Virgo. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like it, please like it on YouTube, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends, and I will talk to you later.